Define those travels as you can, as the song always says. What's going on, everyone? What's up, everybody? Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog peoples, Gogs of the Internet unite. I hope everyone is doing okay. Welcome, everybody, to Pen and Pixels. It is episode 262 of Pen and Pixels, the show that we do here every Tuesday that focuses on story and narrative in games. And in this particular case, we are going to be starting a new game today, actually, or at least not new to me, but new to the channel, at least. Well, I guess it's been played in the channel before. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. I'm new to me on the channel, let's put it that way. And that, of course, is Mission Critical, which we are going to be starting today. We're not going to come anywhere close to finishing it today. We're going to be focusing on this for a little while on Pen and Pixels when we're not doing tabletop stuff. Next week, we have, of course, D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, and then we've got Talisman Adventures again after that. But today, we've got Mission Critical, and we finally finished Vaporum Lockdown. We finally were able to finish that yesterday, actually. I mean, not yesterday, but last week. So now we're on to something else. Thank you so much, Rising Tides, for the raid. I appreciate it, man. Welcome, welcome. So yes, that is going to be happening starting next week, but today we've got some Mission Critical. Before I get any further, just want to mention a couple of things and then something which is really important that I want to talk a little bit about. The things are, as usual, that if you haven't already done so, please follow the channel. That is always appreciated. Please make sure to check us out as well by subscribing to our channel, where you can get some of those awesome custom sub badges and emotes and things like that, DRM free, that you can use here on GOG.com. And if you haven't done so already, please consider clicking through and checking out our individual channels as well. Thank you again for the raid, Rising Tides. I appreciate it. That is always a good thing. Also, hi to Echo, to Lone Wolf, to Kilgore Trout. Hello, everybody. Thank you, as always, to Darth Sisu for the call out when we arrived. So all that kind of stuff. Okay, but before we get into Mission Critical, there is something which is more serious that we have to talk about. So I'm going to slide over there, and I'm going to say hi to everybody. It's good to see you all. This is, many of you will have seen this already. Hello, Triffid. Many of you will have seen this already on on GogCom's Twitter. But if you haven't, then I wanted to sort of pass along some really sad news and just offer a couple of thoughts about that. You will know that a few weeks ago we did a fundraiser to honor Dialad, who was a GOG streamer for us on the GOG stream team. This is what all those emotes that Echo was spamming before. You don't need to spam it again at the moment, Echo, but those emotes that he was spamming before about the face mask and the whole space girl look and everything, those were from Dialad's channel, of course. It was put together by Craigery, and it was thanks to the generosity of Craigery in putting together, and then a bunch of GOG stream team members, and in particular Pyron Jade, who really got this done, and the higher-ups at GOG.com who allowed this to happen. Basically, the channel for an entire weekend was spent doing all of these games. What's up, Live Suing? Doing all of these games and things like that in Dialad's honor. Dialad was dealing with stage 4 breast cancer, which was very serious, and sadly she passed away this morning. Dialad was only, I think, had just turned 40, or was in her early 40s anyway. Leaves behind a young daughter. It is not unexpected, but it is obviously still deeply sad. And this is one of the reasons that Craigery had wanted to put this together, because it was very obvious that this was going in a bad way and that there was little else that was going to be able to be done, and so held this fundraiser. And so I wanted to say two things about this. The first is that I did not myself know Dialad particularly well. She was a member of the stream team, but I didn't know her for long on the stream team, and we streamed at different hours and stuff like that. So I didn't know her particularly well, but it was a great, great honor a couple of weeks ago to be able to be part of the little trivia contest that Kilgore and I were in, along with Frassoir and a bunch of other team members. Moonchild was in that, and a bunch of other folks. And it was a great honor when Pat Sarin obviously was conducting that, and obviously all the games that everyone played all weekend. And the thing that was really wonderful about it is that Dialad was able to see the whole thing. She was able to see it. She had all of her faculties. She had her family around her. her. She was able to enjoy it. She even recorded a message, basically a video message talking to the stream team, which she accidentally streamed. So she was able to talk about, they cried a lot and laughed a lot, and she had a wonderful time. And I feel really privileged to have been a part of that. And it's a reminder, I think, to all of us, not just about what people often say, which is the temporary nature of life and everything, is not forever. I think we all know that. But I think the thing that it's a reminder of to all of us is how enormously important it is to celebrate the lives of people while they are here. Who knows what awaits all of us in the beyond? I won't go into that. It depends on your own personal religious beliefs and traditions. But I think what we can all say is that the thing that we care about most now is about doing what we can to honor each other now. And that means protecting each other in the present medically, doing what we can to be sensible as we go through this pandemic. It means holding up the light to each other and helping each other out when we're in a desperate place, when we're dealing with issues of thoughts of ending it all, or when we're dealing with serious illness or family concerns, issues of mental struggle and so forth. All of these are things that we can do by reaching out to each other. And a big part of what we do here on GOG.com, what I do on my own channel, what I know the other stream team members try to do on their own channels, is build a community that can sustain its members and can do what it can to sustain its members even when another one of those members is lost. Kilobyte, who of course did guest streams on this channel, who was a good friend of mine, was one of my mods on my own channel, passed away last year unexpectedly from complications of diabetes. That was a shock, a huge shock to all of us, and it was something that we ended up reconfiguring my charity convention to try to give money to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and it was yet another reminder of the preciousness of those moments. We didn't have the chance to give Kilobyte a ceremony when he was alive, talking about how great he was, because it wasn't like we expected him to go. This was a scenario where we saw the way things were going, and because of Craigory's thoughts and his thoughtfulness and his care, and then Pyron Jade, who did a wonderful job in setting it up, and the GOG.com people that I've already talked about, because of that, we were able to celebrate a life and not just mourn its passing. And so I want to say today that my deepest sympathies and condolences go to Deolad and her family and her friends and to all the members of her immediate community. But I also want to say that I feel both deeply saddened by her passing, but also uplifted that we got the chance to say goodbye in a way that was celebratory and kind of everybody coming together for common purpose. And that is the lesson that I hope we take going forward, is the way that you honor the memory of someone like this is to do that sort of thing as much as you can, to honor for and care for the people around you now while they're still here, while you still have the chance to do it, and while they still have the chance to understand it in this context, leaving aside whatever awaits us on the other side of that great divide. So again, I wanted to thank all those who set that up and made it possible for us to do that. 8-Bit's amazing work on the video, absolutely agreed. And I wanted to thank everybody who was a part of that, both in this community and Deolad's community and all of our communities that collectively came together to make that happen. And most of all, deep sympathies and condolences to Deolad. I think it's interesting that in this context, I'm actually playing the game that I'm playing. I don't know if Deolad actually played Mission Critical, but I do know this is a kind of game that would have been up her alley. It is an adventure game with a lot of point-and-click elements, with some mini-games. It is a game from back in the day. It stars Michael Dorn for about 3 seconds, and it is also a science fiction game. When I first played this game 20-plus years ago, I thought it was one of the best stories I had ever encountered in a game of any kind. Now, I will admit that that's 20 years ago, and I think my tastes have maybe refined and broadened since then, so I may play it now and think of it being different, but I had planned to play this anyway, obviously before I knew anything about the loss of, the person, Deolad, who we lost just this morning. I've obviously planned to play this a long time ago, but I just think it's an interesting example of how often these things sort of all fit together, whether you call it God, fate, kismet, or whatever, that in this particular way, we're able to play a game that I think is one that she would have enjoyed herself if she didn't play it, and I don't know if she did. And that, of course, is Mission Critical. So with all of that said, yeah, exactly, Jolly Gamer. So thanks to all of you who contributed to the cause of the Quebec Cancer Foundation that was the beneficiary of that fundraiser because we raised over $8,000. That's a big deal. That kind of money, the money that I raise in my ARVCon, is for the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. Most years, I lost my own mother to breast cancer, people know, and so that's a very personally important cause to me. And those things all make a huge difference. And it means that even things like we're dealing with right now, the vaccine for COVID based on messenger RNA, that messenger RNA stuff may be usable down the line to help against cancer, possible cancer as well. And that is in turn supported by the support that all of you have given to fundraisers of this kind. So I wanted to thank everyone for doing that. Just had a few of my thoughts there. I realized I didn't have Twitch chat up for overall that. Sorry about that. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. Really, so much best wishes to Diolette's family. My deepest sympathies and condolences, and she will be missed. And with that, I'm going to get into the game, because I think part of what we do here also is not only mourn, but celebrate and think about what is to come. And part of that involves us being together. So let's do it. Okay, now, I have installed the game. I have not played it yet. I may have to make some volume adjustments, so you will have to bear with me. But this, of course, is the GOG.com version. And you can see Michael Dorn right there. There he is for about 3 seconds. So, yeah, but this is a really cool game, so we'll do that. Yeah, congratulations. I heard Capricorn went really well, Triffid. Absolutely, really, really well. Okay, let's do it.
Lexington now entering low orbit. Altitude 400 kilometers. Initiating OMS burn to stabilize orbit. ADIs are calibrated for 320 kilometers. Roger that. Jericho is 5,000 meters behind Lexington. Looks like a textbook approach so far.
Michael Dorn for 3 seconds.
What have you got, Tran?
Surface scanners have picked up a hard echo from a point 80 kilometers north of the Rift Valley in Sector 4.
Is it Pandora?
Jericho thinks so. They started the countdown for the launch of the planetary lander. The crew is on board, and the lander's been prepped for launch.
Jolly.
What the hell is that?
Sensors are picking up a contact coming from the other side of Persephone. It's accelerating at 100 gravities.
It's a good day to die.
We have another contact.
UN battle drones. Sound general quarters.
Make that 4 contacts. Probable identification, United Nations Autonomous Strike Craft, Galley class. The drones will be in range of the Lexington in 110 seconds.
Communications. Give me the Jericho CO on audio. Tran, what do we have in the air?
We have 9 drones out front in a standard screen. All are now changing course to intercept. We now have multiple contacts. 10.
Sure is, VTech.
11. No, make that 12 incoming drones.
We need room. Take us out of orbit. Give me 1 G of acceleration on a vector 130 degrees, mark 30. Power up the railguns and pulse cannons. If any of the drones make it through our screen, begin ECM when they get within 10,000 meters.
I am not a merry man.
Yes, sir. Course 130 by 30, acceleration 1G.
Captain McCain standing by, sir.
Stephen, what's going on?
Captain, we're under attack by UN battle drones. Abort the lander countdown and secure the ship. Close up within 1,000 meters of the Lexington. We'll cover you with our close-in combat system.
All 9 fleet defense drones are accelerating for an intercept.
Sir, telemetry is coming in from all drones.
There's Mama. Looks like a Geneva-class heavy cruiser.
First one's on the scene. Like hell. They've been waiting for us.
The The attacking drones have engaged and destroyed my fleet defense units. There are 5 surviving UN drones. All are now decelerating and will be in range within 15,
Captain McCain is
14,
requesting instructions,
13,
sir.
12,
Order stand by.
11,
Hands, hear this.
10,
This is the bridge.
9,
Stand
8,
by for combat.
There's
7,
nothing we can do.
6, 5, 4,
Nothing.
3, 2,
Here they come.
1.
Incoming drones in R6. We've been hit. Heavy damage in engineering. The Jericho has been hit. Breach on deck 2. 3 o'clock. The backup coolant systems are coming online. Oh my God. We're still losing coolant. This mother is going to melt down if we don't seal that system. CICS is down. I repeat, we've lost the close-in combat system. All the coolant systems are down. We aren't going to make it.
UN vessel. This is Captain Stephen Dana of the USS Lexington. I am prepared to offer complete and unconditional surrender. I wish to evacuate my crew and that of the science vessel Jericho using intership shuttles. We are to be taken aboard your vessel and treated as prisoners of war under the Geneva Convention. Please, call off the attack.
This is Commander Garrick of the UNS Dharma. Your surrender is accepted. Deactivate your weapon systems and power down. You have 20 minutes to abandon ship. Garrick out.
Understood. Lexington out. Clear the bridge and prepare to abandon ship. Tran, stay here with me.
Sir, what the hell are you doing? We surrendered? Are you out of your mind? We can't surrender. That's not even an option during a normal TAC-op. I should relieve you of command. We can still take out the Jericho ourselves with a ship-to-ship missile and then put the Lexington on self-destruct. We can't let those UN bastards get their hands on anything or anybody that will give away this mission.
They won't, Tran.
Oh, the hell they won't. You're just about handing it to them. I mean, you even want to evacuate the crew. I can't believe this. Why did we even bother fighting back?
If you're finished, Commander, I don't have any intention of turning the Lexington or the Jericho over to Garrick.
Sir?
There's very little time. You are to take Randall down to the weapons bay and pull a 500-kiloton nuclear warhead off of a ship-to-ship missile. Now use the TAC console to arm the thing. Set the warhead to detonate based on proximity, and cancel out the mass of the Lexington and the intership shuttle. Now stow the damn thing in a compartment on the shuttle. When that's done, go and complete your final log entry and return to the shuttle bay. Do you understand me now, Tran? I'm going to sound the call to abandon ship. The crews of the Lexington and Jericho will use intership shuttles to transfer over to the Dharma.
The bomb will go off when the shuttle is pulled into the Dharma's docking bay.
And vaporize Garrick in that goddamn ship.
Everybody in both crews will be dead.
All but one. When the Dharma runs a scan of the two shuttles, most everybody has to be accounted for. I think we can get away with one missing body. I intend to leave one person on board the Lexington, unconscious.
Guess who the one person is?
It will be up to him to complete the mission. We're all dead anyway. At least we're gonna go together, Tran.
I understand, Captain.
Very well. I'll meet you in the shuttle bay in 15 minutes.
Aye, aye, sir.
Tran has taken care of loading the thermonuclear warhead on the shuttle. I've given the order to abandon ship. The crewman I've selected is unconscious on deck 2. God willing, he'll be able to patch this ship together, transfer the planetary lander from the Jericho, and finish this mission.
Abandoned ship. Abandoned ship. All hands report to the shuttle bay for evacuation.
Computer. In Captain's log entry. Open AV data store Melissa 4. Record personal message. Audio only. Encryption Delta. To be decoded only on access by Melissa Dana. The war took your mother soon after you were born. Now the war has taken me. I'm truly sorry that you must grow up with holograms as your only real memories of us. You're so beautiful, Melissa. Just like your mother. Please, try not to be bitter. One of the reasons that we're gone is so that you'll have a chance to live in the only way we believe is right. Keep us with you always. I love you. Computer. End message.
Abandoned ship. Abandoned ship. All hands report to the shuttle bay for evacuation.
Lexington shuttle to Dharma. We are now leaving the Lexington.
Dharma to Lexington shuttle. We detect one human life sign aboard the Lexington. Explain or be destroyed.
Lexington shuttle here. Your deadline gave us no time to search the ship for casualties. Subject may be unconscious.
Unfortunate. Do not attempt to turn back. Your approach to the Dharma is cleared. Garrick out.
And kaboom. And that's the setup, chat. Legend Entertainment Company, in association with Arvin Eleron and GOG.com, presents Yep, you'll never see Michael Dorn again. Michael Dorn, in his role that's already over. Patricia Charbonneau, in her role which is also already over. Henry Strozier, in his role which is also already over. Well, I don't think that it presents these guys as the heroes either, Miranda. That was one of the interesting things about this game. In the DRM free, you can find out by typing !game in GOG.com's chat. Mission Critical. Written and designed by Mike Verdu. Yeah, and I have a little personal connection to this I'll talk about in a second. Technical direction by Mark Posch. Live action directed by Peter Mullet, who had a great mullet. Live action produced by Kathleen Bober. Yeah, no, you won't see that. Graphics and special effects by Panoptic Imaging. You remember the captain coming up behind you as you were heading for the elevator to abandon ship. You felt a sting from a hypo. The captain eased you down to the deck. He wished you luck, and then the world went dark.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on Deck 2.
You regain consciousness. You're in the central corridor on Deck 2 of the USS Lexington's Habington module. Okay, now, whoops. No. Okay, now, before, I just want to show you guys two things here. So, first of all, this right here is the original disc version of that. So I got this in the original disc version. It was a 2-disc set. And we had disc 1 right there. And there is the original manual, Mission Critical, where you can get hints and tips and the whole business, right? So we had that. And it actually came in, I forgot that, 3 discs. So 3 separate CD-ROMs. The other thing is that I played with, or not played with. Here we go. I was on a panel a number of years ago at Worldcon in Montreal. This is like 2008, 9, so a number of years ago. And I was on a panel that randomly I happened to be next to this guy. He was on the panel with me. His name was Paul Chafe. And you may think, well, why does this matter? Who cares? Paul Chafe is just some author. Paul Chafe did the novelization of this game, Mission Critical. And so when he told me, I was talking to him, and at some point this subject even came up randomly. And he's like, Mission Critical, this day. He's like, yeah, I did the novel for that. I'm like, you did the novelization for that? So I got this signed copy. I think it's signed, yeah. This signed copy of by Paul Chafe of the Mission Critical novel version of this particular game. So there are two personal connections or contacts that I have that are related to this. So this game, when I played it, as I say, had a really amazing story. Now, I don't yet know, I'm gonna have to see whether that's just nostalgia goggles. We'll find out together as we play through here. But the game at the time I thought was one of the best games ever. It is a thick novel. Yeah, this is 600 and... It was a little slow. But yeah, it was, let me see. 589 pages about a world ship, basically. So it was cool. Okay, so this starts out, now here's the thing, the game starts out as a conventional kind of point and click type of thing, but then there are mini games, and over time the game goes in directions that you would not have expected. So yeah, so here we go.
Emergency decompression alert.
It's up to you now. Tran has recorded
a
a briefing on the ship's condition and your immediate objectives. The main computer is down, but you can access the briefing through the wardroom ACN. Also, you may need access to some of the crew staterooms on decks 2 and 3. Because staterooms are protected by the privacy laws, you will need VIS override codes to get inside. You'll find a crew manifest with what I think are the important codes in my stateroom. My VIS override code is A3X5. Good luck, SD. How's the sound, everybody? Sign of the bulkhead identifies this as Deck 2 of the Lexington's habitat module. Okay. And this, by the way, is the map. So you can see where the map is. So it looks like we got crew quarters to the left. Awesome.
Computer?
The main computer is down. Voice access to Deck 2 local systems only.
Right. The hell is going on? Give me a status report.
What the hell is going on? Give me a status report.
Contact with the main computer system was lost at 22:31:22. Autonomic ship functions have been delegated to local nodes. At 22:45:07, internal sensors detected an impact and subsequent decompression in Deck 2 Stateroom 2 Bravo. A warning was issued to all personnel to evacuate Deck 2. At 22:50:10, all of Deck 2 was placed under damage control condition Zebra.
Let's see. What is damage okay.
What is damage control condition Zebra?
Condition Zebra is the most serious of the 4 damage containment and control procedures and is implemented only if the survival of the ship is in doubt. Condition Zebra applies to all airtight compartments that have been sealed off from the rest of the ship due to hull integrity failure.
Yep, agree, Miranda.
No hatches, doors, or valves leading to or from the affected compartments may be opened without the authorization of the commanding officer.
Okay. Well, what caused the impact?
What caused the impact?
Unknown. The initial pressure loss was immediate and catastrophic, but was localized to 1 stateroom. The DCS knowledge base suggests that the damage may have been caused by a laser, particle beam, kinetic kill weapon, high-velocity micrometeorite, or a microfragment from a nearby explosion.
What is the DCS knowledge base?
All decks are equipped with a local expert system known as the Damage Control System Knowledge Base, or DCS Knowledge Base.
Why impose condition Zebra for a loss of pressure in just one stateroom?
The initial pressure loss was contained in Stateroom 2 Bravo. Unfortunately, the door leading to Stateroom 2 Bravo was not designed as an airtight fitting, and cannot withstand the pressure differential between the normal atmospheric pressure in the corridor outside and the vacuum inside the stateroom. Air is currently leaking around the door seals, an indication that the door may give way at any time.
Which means we gotta get this stuff fixed. How do I fix it?
How do I fix the damage?
Emergency hull patch kits can be found in the compartments directly over the general-purpose computer terminals installed in the common areas of each deck.
Okay.
What will it take to secure from condition Zebra?
Hull integrity must be restored.
What is the status of life support for this deck?
Atmosphere replenishment for Deck 2 has been terminated in compliance with condition Zebra procedures.
I need access to the other decks.
Authorization from the commanding officer is required to enter or leave any compartments under condition Zebra.
What if I'm the last one on the ship? Would that make me commanding officer?
That is correct.
I need access to the other decks.
Authorization from the...
What if I'm the...
That is correct.
Alright, well...
I'm done.
Access terminated by user.
Okay, so the emergency hull thing should be here.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on Deck 2.
Okay. Okay, spray gel foam on or near micrometeorite or beam weapon puncture. Foam will be suspended in air until suction pulls it to puncture. Foam will accrete on hull alloys as pulled through by escaping atmosphere. Once puncture has been temporarily sealed by the foam, apply molecular glue to fiber steel patch. Place patch securely over puncture. Alright. Well, where is the puncture? Actually, wait a second. Okay, that's the elevator. Okay, it must be over here to the left, I think. No. No. Shoot. I gotta go fix this hull before anything else happens. Yeah. Okay. I will do that, Quantabos. Okay. Yeah, this is available right now on GOG, and I don't remember if it's on sale or not.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on Deck 2. This stateroom is protected by the privacy law.
Oh, yeah. The override. No, I need to get... I don't want to do any of this. I want to get to the bulkhead. Oh, it's not on sale? Okay. My fault then. It's not expensive though. I want to say it's like $10. Seems to be a breeze here near the vicinity of one of the doors. Aha! Okay. Aha, that one. So we're gonna spray. Okay, and then what did it say was the... What do I have to do? I'll spray it. Okay, foam will accrete on hull alloy. Once it's been temporarily sealed by the foam, apply molecular glue to fiber steel patch. Molecular glue on the fiber steel patch. What?
This stateroom is protected by the...
Oh. Oh, so I need to get in there somehow. Yeah. Spray, then apply glue. Interesting. Okay, so then... I may need to reload then.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on deck 2.
I'm gonna reload. Because what that tells me then is that I need to go get, like... I need to get a suit or something. It's just this hallway.
Rapidly on deck 2.
It's just this hallway.
Computer?
The main computer is dead.
Where is everyone?
You are the only member of the crew currently.
Okay.
Any change?
There has been...
I'm done.
Access...
Okay. So... No, I don't think you can soft lock, no. Okay. So the issue is, though, I gotta hurry before the hull breach goes. So I gotta open this stuff up. This is the officer's wardroom. In the old surface navy, the ship's wardroom was traditionally the officer's mess. The Lexington's wardroom serves more as a conference room for briefings and meetings. One of 4 paintings created by Beth Aaron Kalb in 2131 to commemorate the Lexington's 15th year in service. In this painting, the Lexington is returning to Earth for repairs after the historic confrontation with the UN heavy cruisers, Beijing and Kiev. Put the painting on the painting. So I need to find a suit so I can get into that room and fix the hull breach. Scale model of the USS Lexington is on display. The model is exquisitely detailed. You run your fingers over the surface of the case, then wrap it with your knuckles. Material is smooth and cool, perhaps a crystal of some kind or one of the new transparent ceramics. You attempt to open the case by pushing on the transparent material. It doesn't yield a millimeter. There doesn't appear to be any way to open the case with your bare hands. Okay. Scale model of the blah 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 blah. All right. Alright, so I'm going to need that later. USS Lexington AISOC, commissioned December 28th, 2114.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on deck 2.
I know. I'm working on it. I'm trying, computer. 1 to 4 paintings, blah, 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 blah. In this painting, Lexington's first captain, Barbara Cochran, has left the ship in an EVA maneuvering suit in order to conduct a traditional external inspection of the Lexington's hull. Blah, 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 blah. 1 of 4 paintings. We already talked about that. What I need is a freaking suit so I can get in there and fix the hull breach.
I'm sure you're wondering what's going on. I'll explain. You are probably aware that the Lexington was attacked by a UN ship. We were outgunned and on the verge of being destroyed when Captain Dana notified the UN captain of our desire to surrender. Garrick agreed to take the crew of the Lexington and Jericho aboard before destroying both ships. As I record this message, Garrick is waiting for us to transfer over to his ship on the Lexington shuttle.
I'd heard about it.
You are the only one left behind. If we're lucky, the UN bastard will ignore 1 crewman left on board the Lexington. We intend to detonate a thermonuclear device after our shuttle has been taken aboard the UN vessel. This will completely destroy their ship. It will also kill everyone on board both shuttles. This should leave you free to complete our mission. There is nothing more important than this mission, including the lives of the crew. We died so that you can finish what we started. Our ship was badly hurt during the UN attack. The first thing you must do is deal with the worst of the battle damage. There are problems which directly threaten the near-term survival of the ship. Now, first of all, the primary power reactor is headed for a meltdown because the coolant system has failed. The molten core will eat through the containment vessel of the reactor and set off the fuel for the fusion engines.
Great.
The resulting explosion will completely destroy the Lexington and the nearby Jericho. You need to get to engineering and stop the runaway chain reaction.
First, I need to get into the ship.
The meltdown is the top priority. When you deal with that problem, then you must get the central computer back in operation. Without that, you cannot complete the mission. Currently, all computer processing has been delegated to the smaller, decentralized computers that exist on each deck of the ship. They do not communicate with each other except on a very primitive level, enough to keep what you might think of as subconscious ship functions going. There is no overall guiding intelligence in these autonomous systems. The ship's central computer is made up of Turing cores and is home to the complex software that gives the ship's computer its smarts. The higher functions of the ship's brain reside in the central computer cores. These cores are currently inoperative. The primary cores were destroyed, and the secondary cores failed to activate the way they were supposed to.
Could be live.
You must get the central computer back online. I've recorded one more message. You'll hear from me again when you get the central computer back in operation. I have key-coded the message so that the higher functions of the main computer will pick it up and display it for you as soon as the central cores are once again operational. Good luck. And be careful. Tran out.
Yep, not terrible. Okay, as soon as the message ends, the ACN spits out a plastic card. Tran must have
decompression alert.
programmed the
Pressure
unit
is dropping rapidly on
to
deck
regurgitate
2.
the card as soon as the briefing ended. Okay. Alright. That plastic card may be useful. Alright. Alright, we gotta get the hell out of Dodge, chat. We gotta get that door open. I gotta fix the hull before I do anything else. So first order of business is we gotta fix the hull, then we have to fix the engine, the engine meltdown, and then get the central computer online. Okay. Alright, so let's get back to that place. Maybe I just thought that I wouldn't be able to open the door, but maybe I can.
This stateroom is protected.
Oh, I need a VIS override code. Okay. So I need to go get the override code so I can even open up the door in the first place.
This stateroom is...
Yeah.
This stateroom is...
Okay. Now left. Alright. Okay. This is your stateroom, a cramped space that grew painfully familiar during the 4-month voyage from Titan. You often wondered how the crew in the smaller quarters on Deck 3 and 4, Decks 3 and 4 could stand the 6-month, 8-month, and even 12-month extended missions. File pack of your personal effects, okay. You know of nothing in the file pack to be terribly useful at the moment. The contents consist mainly of holodisks to pass the time, souvenirs from your first tour in the Navy, and assorted non-perishable food items lacking from the limited menu of the mess hall ACO. Okay. Oh, alright. Take. Notepad, read. Okay. Grab one of your favorite books, but then grab another, deciding you like that one just a little better. But then another catches your eye. Finally, in defeat, you realize that you just cannot decide which to take, so you have to leave them all here. Old keepsake you found at a junk shop during a shore leave 3 years ago, back when you were still with the fleet tender USS Hesperus. The framed image is a pre-holographic emulsion-type photograph of one of Jupiter's moons. Okay, I don't want to do that.
Computer?
The main computer is down. Voice access to Deck 2 local systems only.
Any change in status?
There has been no
I'm done.
access.
Okay, so... all too familiar with the contents of that cabinet, from your shaving kit to the polish you use to keep your book shine. None of it seems particularly useful at the present time. Pull up one of the drawers, you find nothing but clean uniforms. Okay, can I... there's something there.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on Deck 2.
I feel like I'm wasting time. I need to get out of here. Alright, I need to get to the captain's room because he can give me this access code thing.
This state...
Yeah. That's basically why it was, yeah, it was outrageously expensive. Okay. The secure storage area where critical optoelectronic and mechanical spares are kept in reserve. Alright. Okay, electronics control module, compact little bundle of sophisticated crystal lattice optoelectronics with a standard bus connector on the base of the unit. Okay, so we're basically just getting a lot of stuff that I'm going to take with me, that I can take with me at the moment. Oh, you know what I left behind? Darn it. I gotta go back to my room. I left something behind and I remember what it was. I've gotta go get the paperweight. And I gotta hurry up and get that hull breach sealed. You are on a little bit of a timer. You can't just, like, float around and explore forever. So...
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly.
You heft the paperweight in one hand. As you do this, violent thoughts race through your mind. They disturb you so much you toss it back into the desk. What? Okay, that's obnoxious. Alright. So I gotta go find the captain's quarters. Hopefully they'll give me access to these things. This is the Lexington State-of-the-Art Communications Center, the 22nd century equivalent of the Radio Shack on an old surface vessel. This room has just about everything needed for internship and ship-to-ground communications, including tachyon beam uplinks, lasers, and microwave transceivers. Bring up the TCS control interface. It prompts you for a password. When you don't enter one, it times out, displays a looping message currently being sent out on tachyon carrier waves.
All Alliance ships, this is the USS Lexington. Hull ID, Lima Charlie Bravo Hotel 09er. Mayday, Mayday. We are under attack by a UN Geneva-class heavy cruiser. Our defensive screen has been penetrated. Our mission has been compromised. The ship has sustained serious damage. The electronics in the external communications array were shorted out by an enemy strike while we were moving the dish to acquire new transmission coordinates. Our dish is now locked in a useless position. If you receive this message, please retransmit to the Alliance base on Erebus as soon as possible. Stand by for a coded telemetry burst with mission data under paradox encryption.
Okay. All right, let's see. Touchscreens, consoles, controls using for operating laser, maser, and microwave communication systems.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly.
Most recent listings include routine internship communications between Lexington and Jericho, downloads of bulletins, long priority traffic from the TR-B010 TACAN relay beacon, and a series of long exchanges of the Alliance base on Erebus, routed through a TRB beacon orbiting the star 70 Obuchi. Okay. Alright, I already know about that. Okay, this is great. It still doesn't help me. I still need to get into the captain's quarters. Okay, that was the... It's the bulkhead, that's the elevator. I can't use that until I get this hull bridge locked down. Okay, I'm really hoping that this thing over here is going to be the captain's.
This stateroom is...
I have the code.
Access
That's the
granted.
That's the captain's. Alright, captain's stateroom is similar to the other officers' quarters on Deck 2 and Deck 3. This stateroom is distinguished only by its location across from the wardroom. The official-looking bound volume sits on the captain's desk. Okay, what I need... Cabinet is locked. Even if you could open it, all you would find is a collection of toilet articles, shoe polish, uniform decorations, valet and a spray, and other practical necessities of military life aboard ship. Pull open one of the drawers, look inside, find nothing but clean uniforms. Open the desk drawer. Look at the holoprint. Laser holoprint of Captain Dana and a young girl is propped up against the bulkhead. Sealed magnetized vase is home to the traditional star flower. Vase has all of the nutrients needed to keep the genetically engineered flowering plant healthy for the duration of a typical mission. Pick up the flower, look it over, and put it back. Star flower doesn't seem like it'd be very useful. Besides, you know that half the crew has them in their quarters.
Emergency
you can find them if you need
decompression
one.
Alert. Pressure is dropping
Laser
rapidly
holoprint of the
on
Lexington
Deck 2.
affixed to the bulkhead immediately above another holoprint depicting the Earth. Laser holoprint of Earth, the Sun, and the Moon affixed to the bulkhead under the holoprint of the Lexington. I already looked at that. Okay, probably not gonna have much time for leisure reading. Okay, fine. Okay, crew manifest. Operation Pandora. Captain Dana, attached you will find the final crew manifest for Mission 161, Code Pandora. Departure date February 22nd, 2134. 3 new personnel assignments were needed to replace members of the crew that were rotated from TAC Ops. 2 of the 3 billets have been filled. Your new operations officer is Lieutenant James Poole. Lieutenant Poole has most recently served in ComNav Spacecom/Intel as a special executive assistant to Admiral Parker. Lieutenant Poole also participated in the planning of Operation Pandora. Your new optoelectronic tech is Petty Officer 2nd Class Mark Aguilar, most recently assigned as Senior Optoelectronic Tech on the heavy cruiser USS Coral Sea. 3rd billet has not yet been filled. Your special request to Opera's logcom for assignment of supply officer has been duly noted as being processed. If the subject officer can be made available prior to the scheduled departure date of he will be assigned to your crew. Okay. Stephen Dana, alright, Lieutenant Commander Jennifer Tran. Then we got Lieutenant Michael Dahl's the medical officer, Taiwan Narang's the science officer, James Poole's the operations officer, Lieutenant Renato Olivar to be assigned day of departure. How much you want to bet that's us, the supply officer. Communications officer is Lieutenant J.G. Kimberly Falcon. My dad was Lieutenant J.G. And then navigation officer, Lieutenant J.G. Paul Mandan. Okay. Oh my god, okay, reference. This is all different stuff that'll be useful later. You thumb through the document until you reach 2 pages near the end covered with diagrams in the captain's handwriting. Okay, so we've got your quarters, right? Pool, Dahl, TC-22. Okay, so B-29X, that's where I have to get. Okay, we're gonna go to Dahl first. And then that's Deck 3. Worry about Deck 3 when we get
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on Deck 2.
USS...
Oh, shoot.
USS Lexington, Captain's Log. I don't have much time. The bridge recorders and comm logs will have full transcripts of the events that led to the current situation. This is a subjective account intended for the Captain's Log only. I'm afraid any gaps must be filled in later using previous entries. A lot has gone wrong since we first arrived in orbit around Persephone. Godforsaken world at the end of a 68 light-year voyage that has tried my ship and my crew. The details of this mission are known only to myself, my XO Lieutenant Commander Tran, and the captain of the Jericho, the science ship we've escorted from Earth. The three of us have carried this secret, a burden that has gotten heavier during each week of the trip out. We knew that what we might find on Persephone could well help us turn the tide in the war with the United Nations. We knew that it might even change the course of human history. Things haven't worked out that way. And as strange as it seems, I think the crew knew towards the end that this was going to be a one-way trip. A sense of foreboding crept over the ship as Persephone came into visual range. As we got closer, I could see it in their eyes, in their drawn and exhausted faces. I could feel it in myself, an almost palpable dread that permeated every corner of the ship. It was justified. Nothing could have prepared us for the hell that was waiting on the other side of Persephone.
All right.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on deck 2.
Okay. So now, let's see. Who's likely to have a repair thing? Who's the repair person? Life support tech. No, let's not do it this way. Okay, Narang, Olivar, Tran and Pool we can't get into yet. Narang, Olivar, and Dahl. Okay, Narang is medical. Olivar is engineering. No, Narang is science. Dahl is medical. Probably engineering is going to have a suit. So we should go there first. That's Oliver, B29X. So that happens to be in the exact same place. Great. Well, we'll see. Yeah, it seemed more like a... Well, no, it seems kind of like a captain's log. It wasn't quite as personal as the other one, I guess, but... Okay. Yo, the Caracatron was busted during the fight between Slocum and Geyser. I took the last DC 2001 so we could watch the latest holovids on the final leg of the trip out. Mark. Shoot. Mark. That's Mark who? Well, that's either Mark Aguilar, Optoelectronic Tech, or it's Mark Mulrooney, the FTL Systems Tech. Okay.
Emergency decompression alert. Pressure is dropping rapidly on deck 2. This stateroom is protected. Access granted.
Okay, as soon as the door opens, you're pulled out 5 feet through the door by a blast of air that feels like a hurricane. Slammed into the bulkhead in the far side of the stateroom and lose consciousness for a brief instant. When you come to, all hell seems to have broken loose. Okay, the container produces a fluffy cloud of foam that hangs in the air for a brief moment before being sucked towards the puncture. As the foam is pulled towards the hole, it sticks to the surrounding metal. Soon the shriek of escaping air becomes a whimper, and then it stops completely. Okay, we're not done, though. Put the hull patch in the puncture covering the foam residue. Patch sticks to the foam for a few seconds and then drops off. Okay, wait. Woo! Sorry. Okay, you put the patch in the puncture and push it firmly into place. The molecular glue creates an atomic bond between the patch and hull metal, making the resulting seal nearly perfect. You discard the gel foam container and the patch kit instructions. Congratulations, the puncture has been plugged. Okay, we solved first emergency, folks. We fixed the hull, so that's good. Now we got to deal with an engineering meltdown, so we got to collect this stuff and then get down there. Okay. Book has been dropped in the bed. It's entitled Mars, a macro engineering challenge for the 23rd century. Appears to be a treatise on terraforming Mars. You smile sadly as you read a few words from one of the pages. The last thing on anybody's mind after 20 years of war is an ambitious megaproject like terraforming.
The pressure on Deck 2 has stabilized. Deck 2 has been secured from damage control condition Zebra.
Okay, good. Book goes back in the bed. Usefulness equals 0, mass equals 1145 grams. Okay. Book is filled with high-quality computer-enhanced holograms of the patterns created by star-hot plasma inside various thrust chambers and containment fields. Interesting, maybe. Art, not really. Composite fiber hull patch covers the puncture. Label on the holodisc reads Swedish nudes in null G. Looks interesting. I want you all to know that as I'm taking this, you snatch up the disc, realize that it's been damaged beyond repair. Okay, I was thinking it could be used to patch a hull breach. Honestly, I mean, what a pity of all the items in this stateroom, the disc looked like it might be the most interesting. Book sits on the floor where it dropped after you fixed the hull puncture. Yeah, I know, right, Echo? It is a volume entitled The Collector's Coffee Table Book of Orbital Platforms. Appears to be a collection of color holograms depicting various orbital platforms used for construction, repair, materials processing, defense, staging, and research. The space stations are all lit very dramatically and shot from interesting angles. I bet I can't take that either, can I? Nope. Glance at the title, Frontiers of Nanotechnology. You open the book, hey Hillness, and look at the publication date, 2052. Olivar must have this around for sentimental reasons. The frontiers of 2052 are the backwaters of 2134. Harsh. Okay, well, let me use that. Try to open the desk drawer, but unsuccessful. Must be jammed from the thermal stress created during the impact. Drawers seem to be jammed shut from thermal stress. No, no, no. Cabinet's locked, okay.
Computer?
The main computer is down. Voice access to Deck 2 local systems only.
Any change in status?
The pressure on Deck 2 has stabilized. Deck 2 has been secured from damage control condition Zebra.
Okay, so now I gotta get to engineering.
Any change?
No, I know that. I'm done.
I'm done.
Access.
Okay. I think that's all that I can get, so we're going to save it under our continuing. Yep. Okay. So we got that one done. Now, we have, what we probably need to do is collect everything we can from here and then get to engineering. Okay. So that was Narang. No, that was Olivar. So we need to get Narang, who's the science officer, and then go down to Dahl and get that, and then see if we can get up to the next level, to 3 engineering. So Narang should be next.
This stateroom. Access grant.
Okay. Molecule model. Molecular model of the metallic crystalline Eureka alloy sits on Taewon Narang's desk. Narang studied quantum chemistry as a hobby, and he was fascinated with the seemingly impossible composition of the famous Hull alloy. Okay. Too awkward to carry around, okay. Book is entitled Theory of Artificial Quantum Singularities, Volume 3, The Role of Virtual Particle Creation in Energy Production. You turn to the first page and find that the math is already over your head. You replace the book. Alright. Holoprint of the planet Delta Pavonis 5 is affixed to the bulkhead. Planet is currently uninhabited except for a small research station, but it has potential as a colony site. And that is a holoprint depicting the colony world of Erebus, which we need to contact eventually too. And that is affixed to the bulkhead. Erebus is one of 2 major human colonies. A frozen ball of ice orbiting the star 70 Ophiuchi. I guess I can't open this, right? No. Pull up one of the drawers, nothing but clean uniforms. What about this? One of these days, I'm going to find something interesting. Nothing of interest. All right.
Computer?
The main...
I'm done.
Access...
Okay. Lovely. All right. So nothing interesting going on there. At least not yet. Okay, so... Darn it. So, we open Narang, Olivar. Tran is closed. We should be able to get Dahl open, DC-22. And Dahl is the medical officer.
This stateroom is... Access granted.
True. Well, this whole thing, Triffid, Pandora, Persephone, I mean... Ooh, a safe. Heavy safe made of Areca alloy is secured to the bulkhead. You wonder briefly about the locking mechanism, but a binocular eyepiece to one side of the safe door is a dead giveaway. The safe is equipped with a retinal scanner. Oh, no problem. I'll just pretend to have the eyes of the doctor. Look in the eyepiece. 2 little green crosshair patterns that immediately begin moving from side to side. The retinal scanner hums and chatters to itself, but your retinal pattern is not key-coded in the scanner's memory. Nothing else happens. That's actually very true, Triffid, yeah. Paw impatiently through a couple of the volumes. Nothing interesting to be found. Magnetic weight, paperweight. Paperweight only rises a few centimeters from the surface of the desk. Just enough to slip a paper underneath it. Talk about magnetized. Can I not take it? Why can't I take the paperweight? Alright, fine. Is this the one that's got something in the drawer? No. Appear to be locked. Alright, I'm going to have to come back when I get the retinal, figure out the retinal scanner thing.
Computer? I'm done.
Access.
Okay. Alright. Is it critical? Mission critical is great. Yeah, so far so good. We managed to seal a hull breach, so that was before death. Now we have to shut down, we have to fix the engine before it goes critical. Mission critical. And then after that we have to fix the central computer, and then we have to fix the communication array. So we got a little bit of work in front of us, but anyway. We've avoided immediate death thus far. So that's a nice start. Okay. Can't get into these guys, I don't think. I think it's going to let me get into Pool's place. We're going to find out. Yeah, that's definitely true. Okay.
This state...
Right, I don't have a thing for that. Alright. Alright, well, let's take the elevator to engineering. Okay. Good. Alright, elevator provides access to all habitat module, etc. Engineering.
A yellow keycard is required to gain access to other decks.
I got that. Sideways elevators. It sure was. That was bizarre.
Access granted.
Okay. We want engineering. Deck is currently inaccessible due to a potential radiation hazard between the entrance to the reactor space and the engineering level. Ah. So that's a problem. We need to get someplace and get the suit. Okay. Let's take a look at the crew manifest. At the very end of it, he describes Deck 3. Deck 3. Alright, let's see what we can find. Deck 3, let's do it. Alright, we need to get a suit and get down there and fix engineering.
Deck 3.
Okay. So let's figure out where we are. This is... Okay, that's the crew deck. So... Okay, here's Deck 3. Mulrooney we can't open. Kwan is JU-88. So we'll go to Kwan first. Kwan is... Mary Kwan, nuclear tech. Well, that could be useful in this current situation. Hey, your thing's gonna go supercritical. Any ideas about that? How about a suit?
This state...
Right.
This state... Access granted.
Mary Kwan's quarters, one of the cramped rooms set aside for non-commissioned officers and enlisted personnel. You see what looks like a bound volume of some kind on Mary Kwan's desk. Okay. Pick up the flower and vow that you will take care of it for the rest of its natural life, assuming the responsibility from its previous owner. Nah, too much trouble. What were you thinking? Okay, can I take that magnetic paperweight? Just as useless as the other ones. Man, don't tell me what's useless, game. Pull up one of the drawers. You find nothing but clean uniforms and one dirty sock. Good thing this wasn't an inspection. Rule 1 of Navy procedure, only clean uniforms and dresser drawers. Cabinet is locked. We already know about that. Open this desk drawer. Is there something in here? Nothing of interest. Pick up the puzzle and examine it. Mary seems to have come much closer to a solution than you ever did. You play with it for a bit, start to ruin the progress she made, and drop it back down in disgust. Okay. I'll take the journal. Property of Mary Kwan. Journal. Mission 161. Departure February 22nd, 2134. I'm keeping this journal on paper because anything entered on my terminal is accessible to the main computer. I know that the stuff in my personal files is supposed to be protected by the privacy laws, but Hideki told me that there are overrides for emergencies. March 18th. The EXO... When did they leave? February 22nd. The EXO called a nuclear plant casualty drill during their first dog watch, which also happened to be my sleep shift. My damage control team didn't fare well during the drill. Sorry, I was checking something. But I think the goddamn EXO set us up. She simulated a computer failure at the same time as the NPC. It took us almost 9 minutes to isolate and contain the failure and set condition yoke for the contaminated areas. The EXO wasn't happy and reamed our team, but good, especially me. March 19th, the Lexington made an FTL jump today. March 21st, I was in engineering with Olivar when Poole, our new ops officer, came in and started grilling Olivar about the upgrades made to the Lexington during the overhaul at the McHenry yards. Poole seemed strangely intent on the information. It was like he was asking the questions from a mental list or something. I assume he was just trying to get up to speed on his new assignment, but it was hinky. March 23rd. The rumor mill spawned another whopper today. Everyone has to have a theory about what this mission is all about. I heard this one from Gallardo. She says that Shindo overheard the CO talking to the EXO about the discovery of a new Earth-type world, a new home for the Alliance. We're supposedly on our way to secure it. Yeah, right. Narang, our resident conehead, gave me the odds on finding a real Earth-type world anytime soon. Something like 10 million to 1. I don't believe it for a second. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get my mic fixed. Okay, the EXO ordered another nuke emergency drill today, this time for a mock nuclear weapons incident. We did okay. The EXO didn't say anything good, but then she never does. The key is that she didn't say anything bad. Everything would have been cool, except that McClary was assigned to the decontamination station for damage control and had his hands all over me during the decon segment of the drill. Oh boy. Magrath and Aguilar were trying to guess where we're using an astrogation program on the main computer and the star patterns outside the viewpoints. The main computer confounded their efforts. It knows the ship's location is classified. Narang knew but wouldn't tell. I know he doesn't take that secret shit too seriously, but he doesn't want to rot in Leavenworth either. Made another FTL jump this morning. Nobody knows where we are or where we're going. I feel frustrated and upset. The tension in the ship is getting worse for no apparent reason. I think it's because no one has a clue what this mission is about. We know this gig is real important and we're all used to the jitters, but being completely in the dark is driving us crazy. Also, the CO and the XO look like they're under serious stress. This isn't helping. April 15th. Re the mission. I know we're escorting a science ship. Why the hell is that ship so important? The Navy only has a couple of science ships, and the coneheads who run them are usually out looking for black holes and gas clouds and crap like that. Why do they have the best ship in the fleet as an escort? Where are we going? According to Oliver, Poole and Narang had a heated argument over the causes of the war while some of the officers were relaxing in the wardroom. The odd thing is that Oliver said Poole seemed to agree with the UN's objectives but disagree with their methods or something like that. I really don't like Poole. He's one creepy guy. May 1st. We jumped today at 8 o'clock. Immediately after clearing the jump point, the ship pulled 2.5 Gs. We're all going to be real tired real fast at this rate. May 4th. Poole was a basket case today. Nobody else was any more tense than usual, but he had a bad case of the shakes. Gotta go find out who this Poole guy is. He ran around the ship like a caged rat. Nobody else seemed to notice, but I did. There's something funky about the guy. May 5th, we went to general quarters at 14:07 today. I wasn't really scared until the drones were launched. I felt 9 thumps, which meant that all the birds were in the air. Acceleration warnings sounded at 14:36, and we started pulling all kinds of forward and lateral Gs. I guess we won the battle because we weren't vaporized and all 9 drones eventually came back. We secured from GQ at 15:10, and the CO came on and made a terse announcement about the Lexington having engaged an enemy vessel. No other announcement was made. God, I'd forgotten how scared I get when the shit hits the fan. May 6th. Poole seemed to know about the battle yesterday before it happened. He was so hopped up the day before, and the other officers were no more tense than usual. Wonder if Poole was working for the UN. Pressure on the crew finally caused a blowout. Geyser and Slocum had a big fight in the mess hall during movie call. Slocum has been baiting Geyser for days over Geyser's ponytail, and Geyser finally exploded. During the fight, Geyser threw Slocum into the VR system and broke the CPU. The crew present during the fight kept the incident quiet. None of the staff officers even knew it happened. They didn't even know it happened, and Mark Aguilar fixed the VR CPU on the QT. May 16th, Poole is sleeping with Falcon. Now, this wouldn't normally be big news, but the way he pursued her really bothers me. I know she's an officer and everything, but he's a good-looking guy, and both Maria and Erica have been after him for weeks. He ignored them and went after Falcon like a guided missile. Erica's a knockout. Why Falcon? May 20th, we must be way the hell out in the middle of nowhere. We made our 6th FTL jump of the trip today. We're pulling heavy Gs again. May 28th, we've arrived in what must be the target star system for the mission. Randall is sure that we're now moving in-system instead of laterally towards another jump point. Star here appears to be orange in color, probably K-class. That's all we know. June 10th, close call today. One of the coolant pumps in Section 8 went out and the reactor temp started climbing. We got it under control and brought a backup online. Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. Yeah, right, Gregory? June 11th, I caught Poole hanging around the entrance to one of the weapons bays this morning. He was startled to see me and then looked almost guilty. What was he doing down there? I'm starting to get real suspicious. Something is definitely up with that guy. Well, there has been for the last 2 months. June 15th, I followed Poole on impulse during one of the dog watches. He was carrying something in a bag and was kind of hunched around it like he was uncomfortable carrying it. I knew something was up. He went to deck 2. I rode the elevator with him and then pretended to go the other way towards the wardroom. He looked around all the corridors to make sure he was alone and then went into Dahl's stateroom by using an override code. He was super sus. First of all, when he came back and had a meeting, he didn't tell us where he had been with the reactor. I was busy doing tasks and... Just kidding. Dahl was in the med lab at the time. Poole was in Dahl's quarters without Dahl's knowledge or consent. He was after something in there. Ah. June 16th. Is Poole a UN agent? He's either a UN agent or an Alliance Special Ops plant. June 17th. Poole is in Special Ops. I dated one of those guys once. They're much too cool to blunder around like Poole. Yeah, I'm thinking so. Why don't I have an emote with a raisin crust? That's a good call. If Poole was Special Ops, I wouldn't have a clue that anything was up. Poole has to be an enemy agent. He must have recruited him with money or blackmailed him or something. He's an amateur. June 18th. The stress is getting to all of us, and I think the way I deal with it is to obsess about Poole. I'm now convinced that he's a UN agent. It isn't just the incidents I've recorded here, it's the way he behaves day to day. He's not a member of the team. He never really fit in from the beginning. The other officers are senior in rank, but they're part of the team. He's different. He's distant. He's as tense as the rest of the officers, but I think it's a different kind of tension. He's tense because he knows something that even the CO and XO don't know. I'm getting frightened again. Why not tell someone about it? June 19th, the Lexington is closing on a planet. That much is definite. Even though nobody knows exactly where we are, we finally seem to be getting near our destination. June 22nd, Poole's getting more and more uptight. He looks like he hasn't slept in days and seems really jumpy. If he's nervous, then I think the rest of us should be scared shitless. The last time he got tense, we went into action the next day. I think I need to tell Oliver about my suspicions. I'll do it tomorrow. Too late. Alright, well, that's interesting. Nature scene from Earth. Yeah, so... Pretty screensaver is running on the screen. Seems to be no way to interrupt it. You snort in disgust. Screensaver's the most useless applications ever invented. Where did that ridiculous name come from, anyway? Whoever heard of a holographic crystal lattice display wearing out? Okay, right. Interesting. Yeah. Screensavers are art. Alright, so I was just in... No. Go away. Not that one. This one. I was just in... Oh, Poole. I need to find out this Poole guy. Operations Officer James Poole. Okay. So... That's deck 2. Oh, Poole was right next to me. Okay, I just need to figure out how to get there. Quan was JU-88. So, we need... Mura is F-111. And Falcon may be able to get us into Poole's place. So we'll try Mura first. F-111. Chief Warrant Officer Hideki Mura. Okay, so Mura's on the left.
This stateroom. Access granted.
Okay. This was Hideki Mura's quarters. Hideki was all those untextured 3D models. Hideki Mura's quarters. Hideki was the ship's cyber systems operator and was an old school hacker who admired the culture from the quaint cyberpunk era of the early 2020s. This is the... Guys, we're in the quaint cyberpunk era. And we are in the cyberpunk 2077, right? Quaint cyberpunk area. A folded printout sits in the desk next to the computer. A gold necklace is draped on one corner of the computer monitor. Okay, let's take that necklace. Appears to be a necklace with a gold pendant. Alright, I have the pendant on now. How cyberquaint. Holoprint of one of the Lexington sister ships affixed to the bulkhead. This looks like the Concord, identifiable because of the slightly different shape of the habitat module. Alright, holoprint of Starhome, the first world to be colonized by the human race. Although the average surface temperature is under minus 30 degrees Celsius and the atmosphere is 100 years from being terraformed to the point where it's even breathable, Starhome is the closest thing to an Earth-type planet in known space. Okay. And a holoprint of one of the planets in the Epsilon Indi system. That again. Alright, let me open this stuff. Someday there's going to be something important in a drawer. And that day will be a great day. Nope. Alright. Program listing on computer fax print. Okay, fine. Take it. Computer fax print. That looks like old printer paper with the holes in it. You surmise it is Hideki's private creation. Anything used for the ship or the mission will be built from the main computer's vast object library. You recognize a few words and characters in the archaic character-based programming language C². The program is supposed to use the local subturing processor in the terminal to calculate an irrational number to what seems like an impossible number of digits. Yeah, dot matrix, right.
Welcome to Hideki's House of Hacking Fun.
Kicked off Hideki's C² programming environment. You type in the lines of code from the source code listing. When you're finished, you give the computer a verbal command to execute the program. The end result is a string of digits that begins with 3.14 blah 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 and then runs off the screen. Okay, I may need to use that later. Doesn't seem very useful right now. Okay. Okay, so that was Dahl. Oh, nope, wrong guy. That was Mura. So Falcon's the one who was sleeping with Poole, which means maybe we can get information about how to get into Poole's quarters, which we're going to need. Although we really do need to fix engineering, but we can't do any of that until we get more stuff.
This stateroom is protected. Access granted.
Most of the ship's staff officers were housed on Deck 2, known inside the ship as Officer Country, but the more junior officers wound up bunked on Deck 3 with the NCOs and enlisted personnel. For some reason, the proximity of a person in its quarters to the bridge corresponds with rank. Okay. Strangely empty. Where are the clean uniforms? Oh my gosh, is there something there? Find a small note taped inside of the desk drawer. Peel the note off the bottom of the drawer and take it with you. If you need to get into my stateroom to get any of your things and I'm not around, feel free to use my vis override. Don't let anyone see you going in. The rules on fraternization may be loosely enforced, but getting caught won't help your promotion prospects. See you soon. Ha ha! I bet that's the way to get into Poole's place. Alright. You thumb through the code book. One page is clipped. This page is covered with cryptographic equations. The only recognizable element is the title at the top of the page, Jasmine Comcode Protocols. Falcon has made a penciled note in the margins. TCS hard-coded for Jasmine. No other comcode authorized for M161. Okay.
Computer? Is there any...
Contact with the main computer system.
Has...
No change. That is not...
I'm...
Access...
Okay. Okay. So, I think that means that we've taken care of all of these areas here, which means that what we need to do is go back up so we can open Poole's thing. I'm also hoping... Yeah, so that's all this stuff. So I'm going to check out this stuff first. I want to save it, though. I am worried about the engine going critical. I'm trying to figure out how to address that. And I was actually going here to try to gather information of like a suit or something like that that I can pick up that will let me get in and fix engineering. So...
Computer? Has anything changed?
No change.
I'm done.
Okay. The mess halls where meals are taken by the crew before and after going on watch. A self-serve food dispenser takes the place of the mess cooks of old. With a state-of-the-art VR system and the only communal space on the ship, the mess also serves as the social hub for the crew. Model name of the VR unit appears to be Karaoke-tron VR, no doubt a whimsical reference to one of the most obnoxious consumer electronic devices to sweep the world during the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Lexington orientation.
Welcome to the USS Lexington orientation. The United States Congress authorized the development of a new class of warships in 2109 as new Cold War tensions between alliance states and the United Nations escalated. These ships were designated as light cruisers Bunker Hill class and were designed to be fast, lightly armored, and heavily armed. The USS Lexington is one of 9 Bunker Hill light cruisers built between 2111 and 2127. During the first half of 2133, the Lexington was the first Bunker Hill-class ship to undergo an extensive modernization at the McHenry yards around Starhome. She was equipped with brand new weapon systems, an improved interplanetary drive, a new computer system, and an upgraded communication system. The Lexington is equipped with 3 propulsion systems. The first propulsion system is the Orbital Maneuvering System, or OMS.
It is a little bit live,
the OMS
yeah.
consists of several chemical reaction thrusters for use when in orbit or when maneuvering in close proximity to other ships. The second propulsion system is the interplanetary drive, used for travel inside a star system. 4 deuterium-tritium fusion pulse drive engines are fed by a linear accelerator that runs down the spine of the ship from fuel tanks mounted near the bow. A continuous stream of microscopic frozen deuterium-tritium fuel pellets is accelerated into the 4 thrust chambers with magnetic containment at the stern of the ship. High-energy lasers bombard the fuel pellets and create a fusion reaction by implosion.
Deuterium-tritium.
Thrust is channeled backwards. A fraction of the resulting energy is fed back into large capacitors which are used to fire the lasers for the next explosion. The interplanetary drive can produce and maintain a constant acceleration of up to 6 gravities for extended periods. Large radiator fins on the outside of the ship.
Very straight, hard sci-fi for sure.
The third propulsion system is the Talsetto faster-than-light jump drive, located on the boom forward of the bow. The jump drive allows instantaneous travel along threads of space-time deformation that exist between the Talsetto jump points found in many star systems. A conventional liquid-cooled nuclear reactor mounted forward of the engineering compartments of the ship is used to charge the capacitors for the ignition of the fusion engines and provide power for the linear accelerator, life support, and all of the ship's electrical systems. The Lexington's principal weapons system is a complement of 18 Lockheed Martin RC-09 Basilisk multi-mission autonomous strike craft, also known as battle drones. Up to 9 of the 18 drones can be active at one time. The drones are deployed using rotary launchers mounted in 3 weapons bays. These bays are arrayed in an equilateral triangle around the core of the ship. Each drone is capable of carrying several types of ordnance mounted on standard hardpoints on the dorsal and ventral surfaces. Drone weapons include anti-ship missiles, torpedoes, particle beam guns, railgun cannons, and lasers. A Basilisk drone with a full combat ordnance load is capable of accelerating at 100 gravities. The Lexington is also armed with a Close-In Combat System, or CICS, that serves as a weapon system of last resort if any enemy drones or long-range weapons penetrate a defensive screen of Basilisk drones. The CICS consists of 8 missile launchers, 2 railgun turrets, and several chaff ejectors mounted at various points on the Lexington's outer hull. The Lexington's standard crew complement is 20. Her maximum complement is 25. The crew is housed in the habitat module of the Lexington, a large rectangular structure mounted well forward of the reactor and fusion engines. The habitat module includes the bridge, crew quarters, communication center, medical and science labs, mess hall, computer center, and storage areas. With a combination of speed, range, and firepower, the USS Lexington is able to project Alliance military strength out to the farthest star systems. She has proven herself in combat and has a distinguished service record built over a period of years. Yet she also has some of the newest and best technology available. Veteran officers and enlisted personnel vie for the privilege of serving on the Lexington and contributing to the continuing story of one of the most capable ships in the Alliance fleet.
Be the proud new owner of a USS Lexington today. All right, let's find out why we fight, what this war is about, from their point of view.
We are all familiar with the short version of the events that led to this terrible war.
Propaganda, right, Miranda?
During the second half of the 21st century, the leaders of the world government got a glimpse of the shape of things to come. They were afraid of what they saw. Their reaction was to deny the inevitable, slamming the brakes on all technological progress. In 2082, a group of states led by the United States, Canada, Australia, and Japan decided that the cure was worse than the disease. The UN power structure reacted violently to the repeal attempt. States participating in the repeal campaign were targeted for brutal suppression by UN enforcement. Signatories to the Singapore Treaty formed the Alliance of Free States and announced their secession from the United Nations. They were joined by every major planetary colony settlement and orbital habitat. In 2085, large-scale armed conflict returned to Earth for the first time in over 100 years. The UN immediately invaded the territory of the seceding nations on Earth. UN hover tanks, troops, and ground support aircraft clashed with new alliance military units made up of men and women from alliance states who defected from UN control. The war ground to a halt after less than 2 months, as both sides ran out of soldiers, weapons, and materiel. The alliance states managed to hang on to their home territories. An uneasy truce was negotiated between the UN and the alliance, and the world entered an uneasy period known as the New Cold War. In 2111, the UN attacked again, and war returned on an interplanetary scale. Population centers on Earth and the colonies were bombarded from space by particle beam weapons. Armies fought tank battles supported by buzzing swarms of aircraft. Starships battled each other over asteroid mines, orbital habitats, and planetary installations. The furious pace of the war once again chewed up the stocks of men and materiel in a matter of months.
Yeah, this is a BattleTech crossover illness.
This time, there was no truce. In spite of economic exhaustion, the two sides continued to fight a war of attrition, a war that has since lasted more than 20 years and shows no signs of ending. The war has continued despite the price paid by both sides because all of the combatants are convinced that they are on the right side. The UN firmly believes that unchecked technological development will kill off the human race. The alliance states are just as firm in their convictions that death is better than life without freedom and without forward progress.
All right, there you go. There are your two fault lines. Okay. All right, that's interesting. Getting a little bit of history here. Large table occupies most of the mess hall. So basically what it sounds like to me, I think we haven't gotten that information yet, Craigery, but the United States is basically, the alliance led by the United States is basically pro-technology. The United Nations believes that technology will eventually wipe out the human race and so is generally anti-technology. And so those are basically the two things that are presented. I think more information is to come, but that's the basic idea. Table and food containers, cups, utensils dispensed by the ACO. On the far bulkhead are all slightly magnetized. Meals will stay in place during zero-G operations. That's clever. I accidentally sit on a chopstick tilted at a rather painful angle, convince you to jump off the table, yelping in pain. U.S. Navy has given the Food Preparation Unit a designation that gets those gastric juices flowing. The Mark IV Variable Acceleration Null-Grav Automated Consumables Dispenser. This dispenser is capable of providing hungry crew members with meals and drinks in conditions ranging from 0-G to a bone-crushing 4 gravities. Press a random button and the machine spits out a meal that you can only describe as something on a shingle. You wolf the thing down in one bite and quickly regret it. The last thing your stomach needs right now is one of the culinary horrors that you've come to expect from the ACO. Or ACD, I guess. Okay, foods, so we already talked about that. Secret Kung Pao sauce keeps them right where they are. Okay. great. Okay. Alright. That's fine. So, now we have to go back up to Pool. Here's hoping that we can get into Pool's area. Now that we have the information. I'm trying to get a suit so I can open up the, That's the pie necklace. Clever. I need to get... I'm just trying to get a suit so I can get engineering fixed. Okay, we want to go back to Deck 2.
Deck 2.
Alright, Mr. Poole. So now... Oh, I went the wrong way. It was the wrong way. Okay. Going up here. Knock on wood, by the way, but so far, kudos to GOG for getting this to run flawlessly. I mean, this thing is running exactly as it should. Okay. Okay. So, we want the one at the end.
This stateroom. Access granted.
Okay. Lieutenant James Poole's stateroom. Okay. Okay. Ship model. Scale model of the USS Orlando sits on a shelf above Poole's desk. Orlando's a Jericho-class science vessel. Take the model from its spot above the desk. As you lift it, you notice it's strangely heavy, even in the low gravity of the Lexington's powered orbit. You are carrying the scale model of the USS Orlando you got from Poole's stateroom. The workmanship of the large model is exquisite. In spite of the thermoplastic construction, it seems unusually heavy, even in the low gravity created by the Lexington's powered orbit, which is another way of saying that there's something in it.
Computer?
The main no change.
I'm done.
Access.
Doesn't appear to be ticking. Alright, I don't know. I'm still not sure what the deal is with that yet, but that's going to be important at some point, I suspect. Alright, let's see what else we can get. Gotta get engineering back online. Okay. Well, there's the bridge. Maybe the reactor spaces. Take me there, maybe I can get to the engineering somehow.
Reactor spaces. Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
Elevator won't go down to engineering. Only way to get this to go down through 5 levels of vertical access tunnels and reactor maintenance areas. Fortunately, if Tren is right and the coolant system is damaged and radioactive coolant may have spilled into some of the tunnels, you can't get your hands on a rad suit. The radiation protection gear is all done in engineering. This means you may need to navigate through the reactor spaces without a rad suit. This would be a dangerous exercise. There wouldn't be any way to tell just by looking which tunnels were contaminated. Okay. Yeah, unless you can get the ship moving, Miranda, right? We need to get... There's no way we can do this. We need to get something going or we are gonna get taken out. Let's hit the bridge. We need to find some way to protect ourselves from radiation and navigate it with some kind of map or something.
One.
I mean, if the ship can run with 20, you got to assume it does most stuff with automation, right? But in any case, the job was to fulfill the mission.
Computer?
The main computer is...
Is there any...
Contact with the main has no change.
Okay. The bridge is at the top of the Lexington's habitat module and has a domed overhead with viewports that look out on the stars. The view outside is breathtaking. The bridge itself is striking in appearance, a circular room with the CO's chair in the center, surrounded by an array of consoles and screens. Okay. One of the monitors is showing a view of the outside of the Lexington. Picture is being fed in from one of the external microcams mounted on the ship's radiator fins. In spite of some evident battle damage, carbonized smears and rents in outer hull, the ship still looks like it's in pretty good shape. Navigation map, Lexington's current position in orbit around the 6th planet of a star called Demokaitos, also called Beta Ceti. Panic button will manually abort a computer sequence ties Sato faster than life jump. Okay. Idiot switches. The rocker switches on this panel will turn all ship functions over to the computer systems unless manual overrides are engaged. Looks like the idiot switches were flipped before the Lexington was abandoned. You don't really want manual control of all the ship's systems back, do you? Well, trust me, you don't. You are 8 arms and 4 brains short of the minimum complement needed to run the ship, and even in semi-autonomous mode. Oh, well, so much for that then. Let the machines do their jobs. Manual controls for a set of emergency reaction control system thrusters mounted in various places on the ships. These thrusters are anti-collision devices to be used only if the computer systems and all local backups have failed completely. Tactical station. Screen sits atop a console covered with various controls and what looks like a recently installed interface port of some kind.
Hype Telecom System Initialization Checklist Revision 3.1. This automated checklist has been prepared in order to simplify the activation and use of the experimental TX-15 Teradyne Hype Telepresence Control System components.
Got all that?
These include the TX-15 RC-09 Client Battle Direction Software for the Basilisk Strike Craft, the TX-15 Block 2 Cyber System Software Upgrade for the main computer, the Telecom Man-Machine Interface, and the Hype Mutagenic Serum.
The Hype Mutagenic
Please stand by while the TX-15 Block 2 software upgrade runs a self-diagnostic to ensure proper operation. Thank you. Hype Telecom Checklist Step 1. Manually reprogram all RC-09 battle drones to be used with the Hype Telecom system. Use the arming console in each of the weapons bays to activate drones in storage, program their onboard computers for telecom operation, load them on the launcher, and hand them off to the main computer. The Hype Telecom program is coded as 180 in the Armor Servo Mech data store.
Hang on, you. Okay.
Step 1 has not been completed. No drones are available for telecom operation. Hype Telecom system initialization terminated.
Alright, well, first of all, I gotta get engineering fixed, my dude. Okay. Okay, I already saw that. Okay. Anything over here? Backup tactical console. Okay, I already know about the backup. Data line interlock master. Don't touch. Screen is showing the results of a multispectral EMF and graviton scan of the planet below. Faint green crosshairs are centered on a bright pinpoint of light on the image of the planet. Text near the blinking pinpoint says, Persephone MSSCA, results 2229, 220634, beam return, intensity 5, sector 4. That's super good to know. I have the slightest idea how to operate it. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. What even is it? Overriding the computer settings for life support system parameters. Okay. Okay, pressure, temperature, oxygen, nitrogen balance. Okay. Doesn't seem like we got a lot going on here. Okay. Okay, so the bridge is not going to help us either. We have got to figure out how to get more information here to be able to get what we need so that we can get through the engineering. We need to get through engineering to fix that is basically what we have to do. Alright, we've been to the bridge. We've been to deck 2, deck 3. Can't get through the reactor spaces. Engineering... reactor spaces are dangerous. We can't get into engineering. Weapons bays? I don't know what the point of weapons bays is. I could redo all the drones, but I don't know what the point of that is. Guess we have to go to the other decks. I don't have any access codes to any of these places, I don't think.
Deck 4.
But maybe we can get a suit on one of these things. Alright, computer terminal, what's your story?
Computer?
The main computer...
Is there...
Contact with the main...
Has...
No change.
I'm done.
Thanks. Alright, we're gonna basically have to just explore these areas until we find something. Because the only other thing I can think of is the weapons bay, and I don't know what the point of going to that one is. Off limits, don't have access. Entrance to the showers in the head. You enter, relieve yourself, and return to the cart outside. That's great. I'm glad that I've used the bathroom successfully. That's... Alright, same problem. Okay. Finding the can was the real mission critical. Yes, yes, indeed. Alright, so I'm going to explore these areas, and then I'm going to have to do this on decks 5 and 6. I mean, I can go down to the reactor places, but if I just wander around there, I feel like I'm going to get radiation poisoning. I don't have, like, even a Geiger counter or the equivalent. Critical was the can we found along the way, yes. Okay. Okay, yep. Same deal. This is super exciting. Hey, what a super exciting trip we just took. We used a bathroom. I guess there's that. Whoops. What's up, you Christensen? That's relieving. Indeed it is. Okay, so we've been on deck 2, which is where we were. We just went up to the bridge. We've been to deck 3. Now we're on deck 4. That leaves 5, 6, the weapons bay, and the reactor spaces. The reactor spaces may be contaminated with radiation, and the rad suits are down in engineering, which we can't get to. So, deck 5 next. Then deck 6, then we'll try the weapons bay. I can try to get the drones reconfigured. I don't know what the use of that is, because it doesn't help me with the problem of reactors, but... Whoa! What have we here? It's a mess of twisted wreckage obstructing the corridor in front of you. A violent release of energy has ripped apart the deck and the overhead, bending Eureka alloy like spaghetti and snapping structural elements in the corridor like twigs. You contemplate the debris for a moment, asking yourself how the inside of the ship could get this mangled without a massive hull integrity failure. Release of energy shredded the deck like paper, even though the metal grating is now twisted and deformed. It's still 10 times stronger than steel. You can't even bend it. You can't do it because you'd be damaged. Alright, interesting. That's blocked off. Yeah. It has a little bit of that feel that I've talked about with the Metroid games.
Computer?
Of this kind
The
of
main computer is
loneliness lore. I need to get into the computer room in order to fix the computer.
I need to get into the computer room in order to fix the computer.
That is not a command or query.
Status.
Contact with the main computer system was lost at 22:31:22, the same time that the local DCS sensors detected a high-intensity energy discharge in the area around the main computer data cores. The DCS knowledge base suggests that an enemy energy pulse penetrated the hull and dissipated upon hitting the data core shielding. Enough energy was transferred to the core systems to render them inoperative.
All right.
The backup systems did not trip as specified. Local systems took over monitoring and control of autonomic functions at 22:31:23.
Can't get into the computer. Has anything changed?
Has it?
No change.
I'm...
Access.
MedLab is a complete state-of-the-art hospital in 2 rooms. Designed to handle a few patients at a time, the MedLab has plenty of capacity for a 20-person crew. Combat injuries are actually very rare. The losers in a space battle are usually vaporized. Charming. Look at the recovery room. Small enclave with 2 bunks lies off the main MedLab area. Recovering patients stay in this room so that the medical officer can keep an eye on them after treatment. Nothing in the recovery room. Strain against the cabinets trying to force them open, but to no avail. That's a shame. You can just hear the medical supplies, bandages, syringes, splints, and all sorts of good adventure game stuff calling out to you. Every so often there's some clever, like, you know, fourth wall breaking. The autodock is the centerpiece of the MedLab. It consists of a spherical robotic treatment unit and a sophisticated non-invasive scanning system. With these 2 components in the computer's vast database, the autodock can detect, diagnose, and deal with any injury or illness that can be treated by 22nd century medical science. Autodock is controlled by a handheld remote unit the medical officer can use as he monitors treatment while standing near the patient. Resembling a mechanical spider... Do you, Night Ghost? The treatment unit is a metal sphere that sprouts articulated arms tipped with needles, sprays, applicators, scalpels, and other tools. The sphere is on a track that runs over the treatment area. Captain Dana wanted the autodock reprogrammed with what he called a panic button. I fixed it so that if you key in the code 911 on the autodock remote control, the treatment unit will automatically stun anybody or anything within 3 meters of the autodock. Does this have something to do with their mission? Sounds like you're going to be working with an ET specimen. What gives? H. Medical officer sits here during diagnosis and evaluation. He'll actually stand near the autodock during treatment as much for patient morale as for direct observation. The handheld remote control he uses for actual treatment is nowhere to be seen. You notice a note is taped to the console, right? Okay. Complete state-of-the-art hospital in 2. Okay, we already read about that. Looks like a sensor of some kind. Perhaps it's what picks up the signals from the handheld remote that the medical officer used for direct control of the auto dock. Peer into one of the microscopes. No slide is loaded, so the only thing you see is the texture of the metal underneath the scanning elements. 2 scanning microscopes, relics from an earlier age. There in case of an automated scanner failure. I bet we're going to get one of those. Needs for that at some point. Okay. 2 large wall displays provides a medical officer with information from the autodock scanners. Displays are currently showing images from the last person to be treated by the autodock. Alright, this is useful. Not now. This will be useful later, I suspect. State the nature of your medical emergency. That is sometimes true, yes. Ah, the science lab. It's the working environment for the ship's designated science officer. Oddly enough, this area has a kind of retro look to it, a result of the Navy's benign neglect over time. The science lab is the only area in the ship that hasn't been upgraded or overhauled since the Lexington was commissioned. One of the larger storage compartments has a red border on the door and the letters FRT in red. You wonder briefly what FRT stands for and then remember Narang talking about the desire to lead a field research team. This might be the storage area for field research equipment. Ooh, does it have Geiger counter? Yeah, that will tell us where we've got radiation. Alright, take that. And this microscanner is essentially a field microscope. If activated while being held near an object, microscanner uses reflection from an emitted beam to construct a highly magnified false color image of the surface of the object being scanned. Hell yeah. Alright. Scientists must speak a different language. None of these symbols look remotely familiar. Gravometer is a heavy cylinder made from a crystalline matrix with a perfectly aligned atomic matrix. The gravitometer, is designed to pick up even the faintest of gravitational distortions and provides valuable information about the composition, density, and arrangement of astronomical bodies, ranging from asteroids to stars. I wonder... I was hoping I could put it in the gravometer, or gravitometer, rather. Alright, well, we got one thing that we needed, and that was the Geiger counter. We needed that. Okay, that's what we're going to use. We are going to be using that when we go through radiation. We got to get down to engineering now because the thing is going to go super critical. But we don't have a rad suit, and we can't get one. Whoops. No. I'm still worried about this time frame. Until I have that engineering fixed, I'm going to be really nervous about the save game because it's continuing to go on. The problem is continuing to go on until I got it fixed. Okay. Alright, reactor spaces. Yes.
Reactor spaces.
Exactly, you Christensen.
Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
Okay. Oh god. Turn bright red. This is not a promising development. Very much. Okay.
Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in the radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
Okay. That seems bad. I am using one, but it doesn't tell me which tunnel is bad. Okay. So that didn't work. Let's go back. That did not work at all. All right. We need to try that again. All right. So, yeah, you can't... Well, what it does is it tells you whether there's stuff above you or below. I don't know whether it's, like, trial and error. Maybe I'm missing something, but, like... Yeah. This is obviously what we're supposed to be doing.
Reactor spaces.
If this is super loud also, I think I'll turn this down a little bit. I hope that's a little better, chat. I don't want to blow you out for the whole time.
Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring.
Okay, so we know above us is not contaminated. Below us must be contaminated. So we don't want to... Okay, so wait. Okay, so hang on a second. So we know that... So we're on... There's basically 5 levels, right? 3, 4, 5. We're on level 1. We know that A is clear. C, D. So we know that A is clear. Yeah, sorry. You guys should have told me before. I would have changed this. You folks should have, but I apologize. Anyway, okay, so we know that A circle equals clear. So we know that A1 is clear. Okay.
Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
We have to see. Aha! Raiders from Dark Saber. What's up, Saber? How you doing, man? Okay. So C... Good to see you, Saber. What's up, man? Okay, we know that C3 is contaminated, so we cannot go to C3. Yeah, I actually lurked a little bit yesterday. Is a question mark. Okay, A2 we don't know. Actually, we do know. We know that A3, we can't go into A3. A1 is safe. We're on A2, we're on level 2. This place is fine. So we know level 3 is bad. Okay, so D is really bad. Okay.
Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor.
So D is contaminated.
Radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
It is, yeah. Both the tunnels leading out of here, okay. So C2 is clear. Alright, so we know that C2, here's what we know so far. We know that A1 is clear of radiation. We know that C2 is clear of radiation. And we know that A3, C3, and D3 are all contaminated. Which means that the only way to get down below is to start with 1A, go to 2C, then 3B. So let us go to 1A. Okay. Let's just make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay, good. So this is the reactor level. Right. Okay. So... Okay. This game is really cool, Darcy. All right. So we go down here. We know that 1A is clear. Now, so this is 1A. Now we have to go over C and go down there. To go over to C. You have to go over to C. And then go down here. Now we have to go over to B and go down there. To go over to B and go down there. Okay. You can't. You're using it to sort of determine where we are. Okay, this is clear, which means that B is definitely off. So that means it's got to be either 4A, 4C, or 4D. 4A, 4C, or 4D. Okay. So 4A is fine. Which means we can go down to 5A. That means below this level, can't go any further below that level. So, okay. So, crap. Okay, so D is a big no-no. Also bad. Okay, B is okay. Symptoms are getting worse. through the tunnel in Area A.
The leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area.
Crap.
Personnel must wear
Wrong place.
protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
Yeah. I get it. I get it, game. Okay. So, we go to A. So we start on A. Let's do that.
Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area.
Okay, so we go to A.
Must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
Which means that below us can't work. So, that means we need to go to C. Okay, we go down here. Okay, we go to C. Now we go to B. Shoot. Damn it. I think that's gonna be, I think we're screwed. I think is what just happened. I need to go right to go to B. Darn it. And then I need to go to 4A. This is level 4, I need to go to A here. Over to B. Ah, damn it. Okay, people need to remind me, please, that B is to the left, that it goes counterclockwise. Engineering level. Man. Okay. Alright, so counterclockwise. So here we go. This time I should be able to get it. It was a little more trial and error than I was planning on, but it basically is because I walked into the wrong space a couple times. Okay. So B is to the left, right? Because I want to go to C. B is to the left, right? Yes. Oh, wait. Really? Oh, right. Okay, C is down here. Okay, now B is left, right? B is left. Is B left from C here? Is B left from C or is B right from C?
Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces.
Alpha goes counterclockwise.
All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
Yeah, but in which direction? What do you mean, though? I should just write this down. Like... God bless America, it's the wrong way. Shoot. Alright. I did what I should have done a long time ago. I'm gonna start over again. I'm gonna do what I should have done a long time ago, which is I put it just on a nice little grid. Okay. So here we are. We're in 1A. I need to go over to C, which means I need to go through B, or rather through D, rather. Alright, to C. Alright, down C. Now here I have to go over to B. So I am in C. If I want to go to B, I want to go right. This is B. Right. Down we go in B.
A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area.
Okay, there's B. We want to go to A. Okay, good, that's A. Okay, down to A. Oh, then we need to go to B. Okay. So we need to go to B, which is left. That is this way. That's B. What? Why do I have a... Why would I have a... I did it right, though.
Coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
Okay. All right. Oh, come on! What? I did it right!
Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor.
I'm gonna do this again. I don't understand. Like, I did it the right way this time. In fact, I'm going to confirm. In fact, I'm going to confirm right now that my facts are correct. Because I worked it out. Okay, I'm going to use this because I feel like I already did this correctly, so I don't understand. Yeah, I don't get what happened, and you're gonna have to put up with the alarm for one more time, folks. Sorry.
Reactor spaces. Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment. Warning. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring equipment.
Okay, and then A3. Right to A2, down to A3, down to A4, left to B4. A coolant leak in the power reactor has contaminated the reactor spaces. You are in a radiation hazard area. All personnel must wear proper protective gear and carry radiation monitoring. Down to B5. Right to A5. Okay. All right. All right, I think we did it. I was pretty close, honestly. I was pretty close to getting it right before, but just one second. Okay. Alright. Good. So I'm going to be on, by the way, for about another 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll be giving way to Pantsless Aaron, who is playing today some Dark Forces. So we're continuing the D&D, continuing the science fiction theme.
The main computer is down. Voice access to engineering systems only.
That's fine. Status report.
Status report.
The situation in the engineering module is critical. Multiple enemy beam weapon and missile hits registered between 22:30:14 and 22:31:45 have caused a Criticality 1 fault in the primary power reactor
Criticality 1 fault.
Containment failure is imminent. Containment failure will result in the loss of the ship. Contact with the main computer system was lost at 22:31:22.
Okay.
Local systems took over monitoring and control of autonomic functions at 22:31:23. There are also multiple Criticality 2 and 3 faults which require attention once conditions have stabilized.
Tremendous. Describe the faults.
Describe critical faults.
DCS faults are listed in order of criticality.
Okay.
Criticality 1. The coolant system for the primary power reactor has failed. Coolant pipes were ruptured by shear stress from missile impacts and by the heat from beam weapon strikes that penetrated the hull. Radioactive coolant has escaped into crew spaces. Coolant loss has reached critical levels. The reactor core temperature is rising. Containment failure is imminent.
All right, great.
Criticality 2. Multiple engineering systems have suffered primary and secondary failures. These are Criticality 2 faults because these systems have tripped tertiary backups and are now operating without any backup at all.
And secondary failures. Okay.
The affected systems are Fusion containment monitoring.
Oh my god.
Thrust vectoring control. Compression laser calibration. Compression laser monitoring and control. Deuterium tritium fuel
Here's
feed.
hoping I don't have to write all that down.
FCS damping. FCS switching. Gamma flux monitoring. And the superconducting magnetic coils in sections Charlie, Golf, November, and X-ray.
Do any of the Criticality 2 faults represent an immediate danger to the ship?
Negative. All systems with Criticality 2 faults are operating within acceptable parameters. They are identified as Criticality 2 faults because they are Class 1 systems, and there are now no backup systems in case of further damage.
Right, okay. How do I deal with the reactor coolant failure?
How do I deal with the reactor coolant failure?
Access the reactor coolant system through the console in the main engineering area.
And system. Console in main engineering area. Okay. What is the reactor coolant system?
What is the reactor coolant system?
The reactor coolant system consists of a network of holding tanks, pipes, pumps, and automated valves. The RCS console provides manual control of the system.
Why isn't there magnetic containment for the core?
Why isn't there magnetic containment for the core?
The operating principle behind the ship's power reactor is a slow fission system, not a sustained plasma fusion reaction common to planet-based power systems. Magnetic containment would be inappropriate given the design criteria for the ship.
Great.
What will happen if reactor containment fails?
The core will reach a temperature such that it will melt through the reactor containment vessel and then fall in the direction of thrust. Currently, the Lexington is in a 0.2 G-powered orbit around Persephone. The molten core would thus fall aft and down, melting through the engineering module of the ship.
That sounds bad.
Can't I just shut the reactor down? Why does the ship need a reactor if it has fusion engines?
The power reactor cannot be scrammed because the control rods are currently jammed in a position that represents 75% of the reactor's operating capacity. Coolant must be restored to the core in order to bring the reactor temperature down. The answer to the second question is that the reactor provides the power for the initial charge of the capacitors that fire the compression lasers in the fusion engines. The compression lasers collapse the fuel pellets and create the fusion reaction that drives the ship. The power reactor also feeds the ship's electrical systems, indirectly supplying power to all life support, computer, communications, and optoelectronic systems.
Spectacular. So it basically does everything, is what you're saying.
I'm done.
Access terminated by user.
Okay. All that made sense? Okay. No, I mean, it kind of made sense to me. This is the primary operations and maintenance area for the ship's fusion pulse drive engines and power reactor. Main workstation for engineering personnel is the engineering maintenance area, a cluster of consoles that sits inside an alloy framework. Uh, 1995, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 1995. Did you know, chat, that this initially required a CD-ROM drive, a 486-33 or better, required 4 megabytes of RAM, 4 megs, a Microsoft-compatible mouse, needed a VESA-compatible Super VGA or VGA, Sound Blaster, General MIDI with digital sound? Yeah, it does, actually. That's very true. You find the proper controls and bring up the touchscreen schematic for the reactor coolant system. The primary coolant tank is damaged. All of the coolant liquid is leaked out of the system. This means you need to route coolant liquid from one of the auxiliary coolant tanks through the reactor in order to cool it down. The reactor coolant system computer interface will allow you to scroll and manipulate a map showing the reactor and the RCS tanks, pipes, and valves. There are 2 auxiliary coolant tanks. Both are full. Your first objective is to open the manual valve on one of those tanks that coolant can flow into the system of RCS pipes and valves. The computer interface this console will help you determine which valve you need to open manually. Use the arrows at the top right and bottom right of this schematic to scroll up and down. You can't use the computer interface to route the coolant through the reactor until at least one manual valve has been opened. Ahaha! Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I need to get this. Wait. I need to get... These are the auxiliary tanks. So I need to get these. Okay, so this... Like up here. And then like that. So that would go out here. Up here. No, like through here, up through here. This goes like this. And then this goes like that. And then this goes like that. And then that goes like that. Oh no, I don't want the main coolant tank. No. That goes... You wanted to replay Mist lately? Yeah, Mist is good stuff. Okay. So I was wrong. I want this going like that. Ion control pool. I want this going into the main reactor pod, right? Okay. So if I've got it right, that should lead us... So that goes here, 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 and into there. And the other tank goes from here like that. And you want that up like that. And then like that. Nope. Yeah, that's the reactor. That should do the job, unless I'm misunderstanding. Oh, no, that's the manual valve. Oh, wait a minute, I'm wrong. Okay. So the valve comes out this way. Goes like this. So I need this like this. Engine coolant grid. Okay. So that goes like that. Valve up through here. Here, 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 here. That should be right. Unless it has to go through the grid first. Which means I'd put that like this. Go up through here. Go through there. Come out through there. Come up through this. Over here. Straight. Up. Over. And around. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like this is the way it should go, right? It goes through here, up here, down here, over here, through the grid. Then comes up here, over here, up here, left, up again, over to the right, and then into here. I think that's right. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Well, I mean, it's entirely possible. And then for this one, I would want to go into here. Wait. Okay, route coolant liquid from one of the auxiliary tanks through the reactor. Oh, only needs to be one. Okay, so I need to route coolant liquid from one of the tanks. Both are full. Open the manual valve on one of those tanks so that coolant can flow into the system of RCS pipes and valves. Okay. So one of the tanks. Alright. So like here, here, here. Still goes up there. It goes up like that. Oh, maybe I need to take it through here. Okay, so like that. And then that. What the heck? Because this means this would go up, down, over, through here, up through this. I only need to do it through one of them. Do I have to take it through here? That would mean that I would have to go... I am confused. So... So if I activate this thing, I don't understand what it means when it says, right, through one of the, from one of the tanks. Open the manual valve on one of those tanks that coolant can flow into the system of RCS pipes. Computer interface in this console determine which valve you need to open. Use the arrows at the top right and bottom right to scroll up and down. Can't route the coolant through the reactor until at least one manual valve has been opened. Oh, you need to actually go to the valve? Oh. Oh. I completely forgot about that. Nice. Cutting torch will be useful. Okay. Anyway. It looks like, once again, I have run out of time. Oh, man. I was really, really hoping that I would be able to solve this problem without having to, like, leave the map and then go elsewhere. But, that's okay. Actually, I'm going to do this as a different one. Okay. Fixing reactor. Coolant. Okay. Because I've got to rise up on out of here, I'm going to have to rise up on out of here. There's an online tutorial. What is an adventure game? Okay, I've had enough help, thanks. Okay, I didn't realize that. Interesting. Okay. So, there we go, folks. But I'm going to be playing this until we... And the thing about this game that always stuck with me, and again, I played this game 20 years ago and really enjoyed it, loved it. At the time that I played it, I thought I had one of the best stories I had ever played. But the thing I wanted to mention was that this goes in a direction that you would not expect. Like, by the time, right now, it's just like a traditional adventure game going around trying to fix a ship, whatever. You're getting little bits and pieces of the larger sort of story. But when all is said and done, the story in this takes off big time, and it leads you in places that you would not ultimately expect, which is what makes it a surprising game in a lot of ways, and one that I really enjoyed a lot. So it was good stuff. But I have got to rise up on out of here, because next up is Pantsless Aaron, who is Pantsless Aaron in chat? But Pantsless Aaron is up next and is going to be playing some Dark Forces. There he is. is playing some Dark Forces, and for a change, I'm actually going to get off on time for the poor guy. So it is time to play the awesomeness of what we call Dark Forces. I hope you folks enjoyed this as much as I did, and if so, I hope you will consider supporting us here on GOG. I hope you will consider following us. I hope you will subscribe to us on our channel here, and I hope you will also click through to all of our individual channels where you have Patreons and subsystems, all that kind of good stuff. But I enjoyed this a lot. I hope you folks did as well. This is exactly the kind of story-based stuff I love to do, and so once we're done with this game, I have no idea what I'm going to play next. That's the fun part of it, but I do know what I'm doing next Tuesday and the week after, and that is D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder next week, and the week after that, we're going to be doing Talisman Adventures again for the first total gameplay session that isn't just character creation and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good time, and then back to more Mission Critical. Otherwise, on my channel tomorrow night, you can check out some community D&D tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with the Shadow Crew. But for now, that's going to do it for me. Again, my deepest condolence and sympathies to the family of Dialad, who passed away this morning, a GOG Stream Team member. It is a loss, and we will have to grieve that loss. But again, I'm glad that we were able to be part of a fundraiser that allowed us to celebrate her life before she went, and I take some solace in that. I hope that her family and friends will do so as well. So my deepest sympathies and condolences to them. For all of you lovely people, it was great having you here. Stick around for Pantsless Aaron, and I will see you folks very soon, either on my channel or next week back here for Pen and Pixels with D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. That's it for now. Thanks, everybody, and I'll catch you all soon. Be good to each other. Have a good night.
Searching